Michael Vaughan, we're here at Lord's for the launch of what's called the Knight-Stokes Cup. Why are you so excited about this? You've been involved with this from its genesis. Why is this important to you?
I just want to see all kids in the UK, whatever the background, whatever the school, have the opportunity to play at the greatest cricket ground in the world. So 4 teams, 2 girls, 2 boys next year, September. They'll be getting the chance. There's never been a state school represent itself here at Lord's. There's been state school players through the MCC hub that does a great job across the whole country. But to think that next year in September we'll have 4 state schools potentially here playing, hopefully the weather will be great. The next thing I have to do with the MCC, who have been fantastic as a partner, is make sure that we have an honours board for the winner. You know, the honours board in the home dressing room, especially the away dressing room, we talk about it all the time, but I'm pretty sure we'll find some space inside. Whether it's in the long room or not, that's a debate. There'll be an honours board for the state school winner.
That's phenomenal. You've mentioned to me about Mr. Ken, your PE teacher, who inspired you. Talk to me about your journey going through state school and making it to where you eventually ended up.
Yeah, I mean, I went to Silverdale Comp in Sheffield, and I was fortunate. We had a cricket field, we had some nets, we had a PE department that liked cricket. I had an economics teacher that you mentioned, Mr. Kent, who was an absolute cricket tragic. So we had a team and we played. I guess a lot of my learning came at the club. And that's what we're here to try and provide. Those schools that don't have the facilities and don't have the kit, we will provide that for them. We don't want any school in the UK in the state scale to think, oh, we can't enter because we don't have a pitch and we don't have any kit. We'll provide that. That's what we're here to do. We want all the schools to feel that they can enter, get a team together. I guess there'll be schools that some of the kids need to pester their teachers. I know that, you know, working away from school time is sometimes difficult, and you may have to pester a teacher or two to enter this competition, but the Black Art Foundation needs a strong mention, because as much as it's the MCC Foundation, I've been on the board of the Black Art Foundation, and the founder, Rick Lewis, is an inspirational guy, and the foundation for 25 years now has been supporting underprivileged kids through education, through university, into business, and this is the next step. We're now supporting what is a great cricket tournament, and that's because we want to see all young people have the opportunity, and to think that in September 27 we'll see 4 state schools here playing at the home of cricket on the hallowed turf. It's a great movement, and everyone will look to the past and they'll say, oh, why is it happening before? It's irrelevant that it's not happened before. It's all about the next 10, 15 years, and I'm sure we'll start year 1 with a number of schools. There's bound to be more boys teams at this stage, and there's bound to be fewer girls teams. If I was the girl, I'd enter next year, because you've got your best chance. And then over the years, it's going to grow and grow and grow. This is here for the long term. It's not just a case of the next year, and we're here for the long term, and to make sure that the state school sector really believes that we're looking at them to say, come on, you know, we want to see as many. And you think of Heather and you think of Ben, 2 legends of the modern game. They went to the state school sector and came through and both captained England. I went through in a long time ago, 80s, early 90s. I managed to captain England. Joe Root started at state school in Sheffield, and then moved as a bursary to an independent school to just improve his cricket, which is understandable. But there is a pathway, and I hope this tournament will give an even better pathway for all those kids in the state sector.
Do you think it's getting harder for state school kids to make it? Are we in danger of missing out on the next Jimmy Anderson, the next Ben Stokes, the next Heather Knight?
Well, that's why this tournament will be great. You know, I think the club section and sector of kind of cricket in the UK does a tremendous job. You look at the England side now. Yes, there's a number that have come in through the independent sector, but there's a number that have come through the state sector as well. And you know, the independent schools do a tremendous job. You know, why wouldn't you send your kid, if you can, you know, to go to an independent school with all the facilities and all the coaching? A lot of them are bursaries as well, because counties are kind of aligned to some of the independent schools, which is understandable, and we don't want to badmouth that. That's fine. This is all about the opportunity that we hope will give all those kids in the state. And not necessarily, it's not all about kids that are going to represent England or play county cricket. It's just about playing the game, and it's just about having fun. It's about joining a team. You know, I look back at my whole career, and I think the best times, I had great times playing for England. I loved it. But some of my best times playing cricket were playing with my schoolmates, playing on a Saturday afternoon, just having a laugh. You know, just having a bit of fun. Cricket's there for everyone to have a bit of fun with. And if you start playing cricket early, you're going to be a fan. And that's what we're trying to create. We're trying to create cricketers, we're trying to give opportunities, but within that, I think we'll create a lot of cricket fans, and that's going to be great.
The spirit of Bazball really feeds into that idea of creating new fans, right?
Well, it's the perfect time to launch. Charlotte Edwards has got the England women's team back. I'm not saying that they're matching Australia yet, there's a long way to go, but Charlotte will get that women's team playing, and the England men's team. I don't think we could have launched this style of tournament at a better time, with the England team having just pulled off a remarkable win at Leeds. They really do have a lot of role models. I look at both teams and think, if you're a young person, there's so many of our players that you'd want to be. Both in the men's and the women's team. I look at Joe Root, he's just fantastic. The way that he smiles all the time, he's as good a role model I think English sport has ever had. And that's why all those kids that potentially will be pestering their kids to make sure that their school enters next year's tournament, they've got people to be able to be inspired by, and that's really critical in when you're developing something like this.
Eddie Jones, previously in rugby, said he got in a lot of trouble saying that the private school system was producing closeted rugby players who lacked resolve. We've obviously said that the private schools are producing so much for English cricket. Ben Stokes, though, he came through his own path, and it's very clear in his captaincy that he challenges a lot of orthodoxy. He's not a safe captain. There must be a link between the path he's gone on and what he's had to face, and the bravery in the way he leads it, and the difference between him and almost any other captain.
Yeah, I mean, he's rock and roll. That's what he is, and he does what he believes is right for his team at that moment. Wins the toss at Henley on a beautiful day for bat, and he bowls because he feels like he can chase. Whether he got a bit lucky with India dropping so many chances, that's by the by. They won the game of cricket. Some of his field sayings, the way that his team played, particularly at the early stages of Bazball, which was at times bonkers but great fun. And that's the message that I think Ben was trying to say to his players, that look, you're okay having a crack. You're all right having a shot or two in your locker, just go out and play them. And then over the time, and I think now we're seeing a team that's starting to mature and develop and understand that you can't just play that one way all the time. I saw a distinct change in the way that England batted. Even though they still scored quickly at Henley, I saw a distinct change of seeing through moments and situations, and particularly Jasprit Bumrah came on, guess what? See him off. That's smart. You don't try and attack and over-attack someone like Bumrah. They didn't not look to score against him, they just didn't over-attack against him, knowing that if he got 2 or 3 wickets, particularly on that last day in that first session, India would have probably won the test match. So I'm seeing an England side, I've called it Bazball with brains, which I'm very excited about. In a year where they need to show a little bit of smartness, in a year that we're all desperate for them to be really competitive down under. Let's be honest, there's been 40 odd years of Test cricket in Australia. We won in 86-87 when it was the Kerry Packer era, and we won in 10 and 11 when Australia went through huge transition. Not belittling what England did, they were brilliant around 10-11. But this England side has an opportunity to go to Australia playing a brand of cricket that we all love watching and doing something very, very special. They have to continue with the smartness.
There were no reverse scoops to Bumrah this time. Ben Stokes, you're obviously a big admirer, everyone is, but as a captain, as a former captain, what do you admire most about him? What marks him out?
His ability to get the players leading, following what he leads. If you think India were 430 for 3, and I always used to think and try and say to people that when you walk into a cricket venue and you were just walking in for the first time and you've not seen a ball and you've not seen the scoreboard, when you walk through the gates, the body language on the pitch, which team is telling you that they're on top? And I reckon if you walked into Headingley when it was 430 for 3 and saw England and the body language, you might get a feeling because the field was a little bit spread. But if you look at the body language and you look at the captain, you look at all the players following him, you'd have gone, yeah, England must be on top. And that's his greatest strength, is that he just manages to get all the players in believing everything that he's done. And over the course of 3 years, he's transitioned this team into a team that are the most enjoyable, the most watchable. They've played a brand of cricket that I've never seen over a period of time. We've had West Indies and Australian teams that have played expansively over a period. I guess in 2005 we had a little bit of a pop at the Australian side, but this team have now done it for a period of time, and they're the most enjoyable to watch. And this last 3 or 4 years of Test match cricket across the world has been, for me, the best time to be watching Test match cricket. And a lot of it, and the Aussies hate this, and I guess India will hate it, but a lot of it's to do with the way that Ben and Baz have got the team playing. I'm not saying they are the ultimate market leaders, because other teams are pretty good. They've now got to get trophies in the hand, and I think they'll beat India. Bumrah's only going to play 2 more games. I think they're going to be too strong for India. I started to get a bit excited this week because I saw a smartness and a brain in the Bazball, and that is it's a real threat to Australia going forward, because if they can continue with that and they can get a bowling attack that can stay fit, I believe they'll get 20 wickets in Australia against this Australian batting lineup.
Is there a chance, though, that Bumrah is going to play more games, that they're actually bluffing?
Nah, well, it'd be a great bluff. I mean, I was staggered that they announced it pre-tour that Jasprit might only play 3 games, but I heard Gautam Gambhir talk after the game, and he says he's going to stay true to that. They can't rush Bumrah, they've got too much cricket going forward, and they can't risk that he'll get injured for what is a big year, obviously, at the end of this year and going into next year. So I think Bumrah will play 2 more. I think England will be too strong, and it'll be quite a convincing win.
Just finally, the clickbait question. Is Ben Stokes England's greatest captain, or does he need to win down under?
I think it'll help if he wins. He's definitely up there with the best. Already. I don't think you can say if he goes to Australia and loses. Look, if he gets absolutely hammered, you go, it's not quite all work. But I can't see how that's going to happen. And the way that he goes about his business and the way that he plays, he bowls, he bats, he fields. I'd have him right up there with the best.